Okay, so Demon Slayer training arc season 3 is here, and there's only like a couple of things to really talk about in this episode. Like, yeah, it's an hour long, but if I'm being real with you, there's only like a few things to talk about. And of course, the most obvious, the most important, the most crucial information that we learn in this episode is of course information about the mark, the demon crest, because a lot of information was revealed in this episode about it that made me realize that Tanjiro is basically the chosen one, you know what I'm saying, the X factor in all of this, which of course as the main character that's usually the case, but now we know how vital he is to the fight against the demons and Muzan, of course. Now with the mark, it seems like Tanjiro is the first one since the first sun breather to awaken the mark on his own. I'm assuming that's the case because the lady said that, oh yeah, he's the first one in his generation to awaken and unlock it. It seems like there hasn't been any other person in the previous generations that were able to unlock it since the sun breather, but maybe I'm wrong. But that will also explain why information about the mark been lost throughout the years. I mean, I say years, I mean decades, I should say, really, and why the Hashiras like barely know anything about the mark at all. So that makes sense, which leads to a question I have is, you know, why Tanjiro? Like, we know he's the main character and all, but why him out of all people? What led to him unlocking the mark and being the first one to unlock it since the sun breather and not anybody else, you know? Because if I'm thinking back in season 2 when he first unlocked it, I can't really recall anything unique or special that happened that caused him to unlock it, other than him like getting angry and like plot armor taking over for the most part. But I'm just like curious to know if there was like a special condition that he met that led him to reach a status that only the sun breather was able to reach. I mean, we all know that Tanjiro is also a sun breather, but is it the case where he's the only other sun breather other than the first sun breather? Because that's also another question, because didn't he stated that like his father might have potentially been a sun breather? It's just he hasn't really used the sword at all. So it probably is just a requirement of you have to be a sun breather to even have a chance to unlock the mark, or at least on your own, of course. Because I was here thinking, what's his name, Hashira? I thought he has some type of like bloodline or some type of connection to the sun breather, and that's why he was able to get the demon crest. But not it's because since Tanjiro has it, he basically has an AoE effect. That man is a playmaker, a floor general. That man shares his plot armor with his what? I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And the thing is too, it seems like the range is limitless, because I don't think he was close to Hashira when Hashira unlocked his demon crest. I know he was close to the girl, I forgot her name, but you know what I'm talking about, the girl Hashira. Like, I know he was close to her, but I'm trying to figure out like that radius, like the effect of the radius, because it's crazy. Like, yeah, they're in the same village and all that, but it's not like, oh yeah, it was too weird Tanjiro was able to like see Hashira fighting, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had no idea what was going on during his fight. So that's why it had me thinking that he unlocked it on his own because of his bloodline or whatever. But that also got me thinking that, man, because Tanjiro unlocked it in season 2, right? And I'm thinking, man, what if the sound breather in season 2 that lost his arm and with 3 wives, I'm thinking like, man, what if he obtained the mark in that moment? You know what I'm saying? He would have been insane. But now that I think about it, I think by the time he appeared, I think Tanjiro already, his mark effects was already disappearing, I believe, if I remember correctly. So I think that's why the sound Hashira didn't obtain the mark in season 2. That's my only logical reasoning I could think of. Because like, imagine if he had the mark, it would have been GG. Like, he wouldn't have lost his arm. He probably would even retire, honestly. Tengen, now I remember the guy's name, Tengen. If Tengen had it, man, especially the way he was moving. But it seems like the conditions, right, to obtain it during battle is, I don't know if this applies to Tanjiro, but it seems like to the others who are around him, for them to obtain it, they must be in a near-death experience or a near-death moment to even have a chance to obtain the AoE effect. But I don't remember the pink-hair girl, being in a near-death situation last season. I can't really recall that scenario or scene. Most likely Hopefully I'm wrong, and most likely that happened, but I just can't recall it happening. And honestly, I don't even remember her obtaining the mark either. But I probably just have to like look back and see. The one thing I'm curious about with the whole training, because the whole training really for the most part is to have like a better understanding about the mark and I guess prepare to use it when they get the chance to obtain it. But honestly, to their knowledge, they can't really do anything, or it seems like so far they can't really do anything about obtaining the mark unless Tanjiro activates his mark first in the moment, and that's what it seems like to me. Actually, now that I think about it, was Tanjiro's mark even activated when Mashiro's mark was activated? And now I gotta like think about that too, because then that will like piece things together on what are the requirements, what are the conditions for others to obtain the mark. Because what I was about to say is like their training is sort of useless without Tanjiro, for real, like honestly, because if it's the case where he has to activate his mark for the others to activate their mark, you know, I'm trying to understand what their training would be for then, if they can't really like, unless it's a case where they're getting used to being in near-death scenarios, I'm assuming, because that's the only hint we really got, and like adapting to that type of situation in order to get stronger in that moment. But we'll see. Hopefully as the season goes on, we'll learn more information about the Demon Crest and everything like that. I'm just putting some theories, some thoughts out there, you know, trying to piece things together based on the information we have so far, based on the previous episodes and based on the previous season and all that, and see if there's any connections anywhere to like better understand how the Demon Crest works and all that. So now let's talk about Muzan's headquarters. Right now we see that two of the Hashiras, the snake one and the other white silver here one, they were able to temporarily enter Muzan's, I guess, dimension or headquarters. Because when I first seen them entering, I was like, wait a second, I never thought of if any Hashira or any just demon slayer was able to enter Muzan's like home base at all, ever, where all the upper moons are at and all that. I wonder that ever happened. I was like thinking, well, probably if it ever happened is the fact that they probably never been able to return back because they were killed off, because of course all the upper moons and all that lived there, so I would imagine they'd be killed off before they even be able to return. But no, it's like I guess a dimension weird that can move anytime or disappear at any time. So it looks like that's why no Demon Slayer or Hashira have been able to, I guess, report back to the Demon Slayer Corp to let them know about it and all that. Because it seems like to me they have no idea like where Muzan keeps his upper demons at and everything, and they have no clue about that place. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to get more information and figure things out about it. So now on to the training arc, right? One thing I like about it is the fact that it's an opportunity to introduce more characters. You know, this arc makes it easier to showcase people who might have potential, who could be potentially used in the next season and all that, you know, and also show if there's any other character who could potentially reach Hashira level other than of course the main characters we know of, the main three, and also like the quiet insect girl, like, or butterfly. Like other than them, I don't think we really know anyone else that could potentially reach Hashira level at some point. So it's a good chance to do that, and also it's a good chance to learn more about the other Hashiras as well, like all at once, because we noticed the pattern that in the previous seasons it's like we're learning about one or two Hashiras at a time per season. But since it seems like Demon Slayer is like approaching their climax much faster than I guess themselves expected or we expected, they figured to like, I guess, use this arc to explain and go through the rest of the Hashiras without using like 5 more seasons, you know. But speaking of learning more about Hashiras, it looks like the main Hashira we're gonna really be learning about is the water Hashira. I think his name is Tamika, the one that saved Tanjiro originally back in season 1, the one that started his journey off, because obviously he's hiding something. Obviously there's something he knows that the others don't, or there's something he's going through that the others don't know. Obviously it's up to Tanjiro to like talk no jutsu him. I wonder why he says he's different from the others. Like, I don't know, I'm thinking what would make him different. Does he have some piece of information that they don't? Does he I don't know, have some connection or relation to the Sun Breather? But I think that's gonna be the main Hashira we're gonna really be learning about this season. It's probably only Tanjiro is gonna be the only one that's able to train with him this season for the most part. That seems like that's gonna be the case. Now one last thing, Nezuko. right? We understand that she conquered the sun last season. They get the demon lady to help figure out Nezuko's situation and help her out as much as possible, especially since Muzan is after her, of course. And the one thing I just hope they explain this season is how in the world, how is it possible that Nezuko, out of all the demons, was able to conquer the sun? That's all I'm hoping for, is how in the world did Nezuko conquer the sun? Is it because she has like sun breathing bloodline in her? That's the only thing I could think of, because if that's the case, you know, Tanjiro's bloodline is just overpowered, really. It's the one, it's the chosen one. But the thing is too, is it was stated that the sun breather never had any children or never passed on their heritage and bloodline. But also at the same time, didn't the guy that the sun breather like lived with for a while with his wife, didn't the guy look like Tanjiro, if I remember correctly, when we had the flashback? So I wonder if he just like, I don't know, just like gave the dude his sun breathing somehow, or the sun breather just like, you know what I'm saying, had that quick one nighter with his wife, and you know, and then the bloodline passed on from there. Because it seems like Tanjiro's family is the chosen ones without really knowing why they're the chosen ones, you know. So I'd like to know more information about all of that. So that kind of summarized the whole 45-minute episode for the most part. There was funny moments here and there, but those were really the meat and potatoes, everything I talked about. You let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you agree on any theories I presented, any opinions, any dots I try to connect. Am I like actually spitting? Am I leading somewhere where maybe the dots are connecting and I'm making some sense, or like, nah, it's just I'm like completely off track with everything, especially with the whole Mark thing? And like, you let me know about that. What's your thoughts about episode 1 so far? What are you hoping to see in season 3? And yeah, I think it's only gonna be 8 episodes, so I hope they make every episode count. Honestly. So yeah, let's have a discussion in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.